Tonight on The Buzz from Pasadena, California, the Florida State Seminoles are in Cali for the second time in less than a year. This time, the Seminoles are competing in one half of the first ever college football playoff against the Oregon Ducks. We've got a complete look at the Noles' path to the Rose Bowl. We're taking you to the heart of the game as we sit down with defensive tackle Derek Mitchell and his family, as Mitchell recounts the moments when a gunman walked inside Stroger Library on campus and opened fire.
The lady gets on the phone and say, hey, we need FSU police here. Somebody just got shot.
First Coast sports analyst Brent Beard will be here with in-depth analysis as the Ducks and Noles prepare to square out Thursday afternoon. And you'll meet the FSU fan who believes he can give mascot Chief Osceola a run for his money. You're watching The Buzz, FSU's road to the national championship, live from Pasadena, California. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Porter, standing outside of the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Thursday night, 5 o'clock, the Florida State Seminoles, the defending national champs, will take on the Oregon Ducks in one half of the college football playoff semifinals. The other half will feature the Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Ohio State University. Now, let's look at the happenings from today. We got an opportunity to get up close and personal with the Florida State defense. They have the daunting task of trying to slow down this Ducks offense, a Ducks offense that is led by the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Marcus Mariota. He is good. This guy scores touchdowns. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arms. He can even catch a touchdown if he had to. He did that this season. Now, there's been some talk here that the Oregon offense over the years, it could be kind of considered soft. Meanwhile, the Noles said, I don't know where you're getting that info from, because when they watch the Ducks, they see one physical team.
People assume because you spread the field out that you're finesse. That's not true. I mean, they run the football as good as anybody.
I mean, I don't know where y'all people getting your facts from. We go out there, we play with the best of teams. When we go out there, we dominate teams at the line of scrimmage, in the pass game and the run game on defense. So where all this talk from, oh, they're not physical, they're a finesse team, like we're fast and we're spread out, but we can play with anybody.
If you've watched the Florida State Seminoles this year, you know their season has been nothing less than a soap opera each and every week. They've got Noles fans on the edge of their seats. They get behind 21 points. They come right back. You got Jameis Winston with all his issues off the field, but when he gets between the white lines, he gets it done. Here's an in-depth look at as the Seminoles turn. In 2014, the Florida State Seminoles opened the season at Jerry's World against Oklahoma State. The Noles appeared to be in complete control, jumping out to a 17-0 lead. But the Cowboys would battle back, cutting FSU's lead to 3 before Jameis Winston hooked up with Rashad Green for the game-winning 50-yard touchdown strike, securing the 37-31 victory. The defending national champs made quick work of the Citadel at the Doak. Then came the Clemson Tigers. Jimbo Fisher suspended Jameis Winston before the game because of a vulgar and obscene incident in the student union. But Winston dressed out in full football gear for pregame warm-ups, much to the chagrin of an incredulous Fisher, who sent his starting quarterback to the locker room to change into street clothes. But that was only the pregame drama. The Noles needed overtime for the heart-wrenching victory over the Tigers. Rallying to win became the theme for FSU in 2014. Against the Wolfpack of NC State, Fisher's squad came back from a 24-7 deficit to win 56-41. FSU blasted Wake 43-3, squeezed the juice out of the Syracuse Orangemen. Then came their top 5 showdown with Notre Dame. A rivalry renewed between these college football powers. It was like a heavyweight fight. After Carlos Williams gave the Seminoles the 27-24 lead on the ground late in the game, it came down to one controversial call.
Golson rolls, fires, side, touchdown! A flag is down, hold on.
Pass interference on the offense.
The Noles escaped defeat again, winning 31-27. The Louisville Cardinals came calling next, and once again, Winston and company fell behind, this time by as many as 21 points, before taking over in the second half and thumping the Cards on the road 42-31. FSU then beat Virginia, came from behind to knock off in-state rival Miami in an instant classic by 4. Used a Roberto Aguayo 26-yard field goal to get past Boston College 2017, overcame 4 interceptions by Winston to take out rival Florida 24-19, and withstood a physical rushing attack by the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech to take home the ACC championship. So on Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock, we'll see what new chapter the Florida State will add to this season-long soap opera. Now, almost 2 months ago, a former FSU student walked into Stroger Library and opened fire on the students inside the library. 3 students were injured. One of the folks inside of that library on that day was Florida State defensive lineman Derek Mitchell. Tonight, Chad Kushner is taking us to the heart of the game as he recounts what happened.
Derek Mitchell is a redshirt junior defensive tackle from First Coast High School in Jacksonville. This season's been very rewarding for him because of his success on the field and his good fortune off of it.
I wasn't sure when my time was going to come, but I thank God it came this season. We at the Rose Bowl, man.
Derek Mitchell didn't play a lot during last year's national championship run, but this season has a much different ring to it. He's finally healthy, and he's worked his way into the starting lineup.
That's my boy.
Teresa Mitchell couldn't be more proud of her only child, who's following in his father's footsteps as a student athlete at FSU.
Well, he's a smart kid.
And that translates to the classroom, where he's scheduled to graduate this spring. Last month, while working on a group project with a few classmates at Stroger Library, Derek was nearly in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I was about to leave the library, 5 minutes prior. I could have been, right in the midst of the shooting. They said the shooter was out there for a while, so I could have been right there.
You selfishly say, Lord, I thank you, for that small little 2-minute hesitation that made a world of difference.
When Derek called his parents that night to tell them about the shooting, he first spoke with his father, a lieutenant with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
He was on it. He woke right up and he told me, how things were going to go, how I need to handle the situation.
I explained to him what he should do if he ever comes face to face with an active shooter, which is basically run, hide, and fight. And that's how we train, and that's what we tell the public as well. But he actually was pretty calm when I spoke with him.
So I just thank God so much that he had that favor on my life.
With that scary situation in the rearview mirror, Derek's focus is back to football and doing whatever he can to help his team win another championship.
It's been a great season, but we gotta finish it off.
You can probably tell Derek Jr.'s got a very tight bond with his parents. In fact, his mom says she grew even closer with her son during her fight against breast cancer. This February will mark Teresa Mitchell's 6th year as a survivor. In Los Angeles, Chad Kushner, First Coast Sports, NBC 12, ABC 25.
Thank you, Cush. And one thing about the First Coast Sports team, whenever we go to any sporting event or cover sporting events at home, we love to find out what are the hot happenings on social media. No different. It's time to get socially acceptable to see what people are saying about this game on Instagram and Twitter. Now, TMZ has a huge presence here in Southern California, and the Seminoles have been featured on TMZ.com a couple of times the last few days. First, they reported on Jameis Winston's late-night run to a famous restaurant here called Roscoe's. TMZ says he ordered the Obama special, 3 wings and a waffle, which was a name after the president when he ordered the meal during a visit back in 2012. And TMZ found this newsworthy. Jimbo Fisher's wife, Candy, she was seen carrying a Louis Vuitton handbag that cost $2,000. I don't think that's too big of a deal when your head or your husband is a multi-millionaire. Hashtag Team Sideline, LA style. The First Coast Sports team, we also like to show you our visit here in Los Angeles, Pasadena, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, wherever we go, through our eyes via hashtag Team Sideline. And we encourage you, if you're here in Pasadena, or you're in LA, or you're back home in Jacksonville, share your photos concerning all things Seminoles using the hashtag Team Sideline. As you know, we always show those pictures on air and online.
You're just picturing what should be Chief Osceola Renegade, and it's actually Jeff Furcon on a bicycle.
Meet the FSU fan who has a unique way of getting ready for game day. Plus, we'll check in with our crew from Portland to get some perspective on the Oregon Ducks. And we're cruising to the Big Easy for a look at the other half of the college football playoff semifinal as the Alabama Crimson Tide gets ready to tackle the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're watching The Buzz, live from Pasadena, California.
He's got it. The 4 field goals tying an Orange Bowl record, but none bigger than that short shot by Bentley.
Welcome back to The Buzz, FSU's road to the national championship. You know, all week long we have been promising that the First Coast Sports Team has you covered from coast to coast. We've even got you covered behind the enemy lines with our very own Dunlin. I want to say Mr. D. I was ready, Joe. He and I, we've been working here the last 24 hours, I guess you could say. And you got all things Ducks. And I hear, Joe, that you guys are a little nervous about the contest.
Well, that's what I heard from fans today, but let's face it, look who's from Florida, right, and who's from Oregon.
Yeah.
You can tell, right? No, Duck fans I talked to today were confident but definitely nervous. I think they're aware of what Florida State's done. They said, look, these 29 games in a row they won didn't come easily, and they weren't flukes. These are good teams they're playing. So nervous, yes, confident. However, I thought it was interesting that of the fans I talked with who were here, not many said they were planning to go to Texas if they won.
Wow.
Now, I don't know whether that's because they think maybe they're not going to win, or they think this is closer, it's an easier trip, it's much more doable. And I'm seeing maybe on the other side, Florida State fans, not necessarily at this game, but waiting for Texas if the Seminoles get there.
All right, and are they fired up about the game, your folk?
I think so, but again, nervous. Now, we did get around today a little bit around the stadium. There's a lot to do around here, lots of souvenirs. Let's take a look at some of the video we shot. Notice all of the green and yellow roses that are around. The Oregon Ducks have had some interesting times here. Of course, they last played UCLA here in the Rose Bowl and won handily. But this is a different game with a lot more at stake. You can see folks out shopping for souvenirs and having a good time, looking at also the floats that'll be part of the big New Year's parade. Here's some more of what we heard from Duck fans at the airport today. Again, excited to be here, but quietly confident. Are you nervous at all?
Always.
Oh, a little. It's a good team. They haven't lost for 2 years, more than 2 years. So, you know, they'll have their hands full. But it's probably the best team that Florida State's seen this year.
It'd be Uncle Phil's Ducks by 20.
You think so? 20 points?
20 points, right on.
Seriously, you're that confident?
Bets at home. Yeah.
You got some bets?
Yeah, $1,500 bets, yeah.
1,500?
No, 50s, some 50s and hundreds, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you got enough money to get home if this doesn't work out.
Daughter's got the tickets.
Well, we'll see about that. All wagering aside, I will say that a lot of Duck fans think the spread in this game, 9 points, is big. That's a lot of points to give to a team that's come back from a lot of games and found ways to win. I have also heard, though, from a lot of people who think this Oregon Duck team is not a team you want to get down 21 points against, because unlike some of the other teams that Florida State's played, Oregon can put a game away when they get up and they start running away. Florida State's got to stay close in order to keep this game tight, and that's what I expect. I think 9 points is way too much.
All right, Joey, thank you for your all-stuff Oregon Ducks. Keep us posted. We want to see you back here tomorrow.
Love to.
Invite, you're here?
I'm here, CP.
I like
we'll
it,
do
baby.
It. Maybe I'll wear my
D.
suit and tie tomorrow.
I like it. All right, there's another big semifinal game going down in the Big Easy. It is featuring the Ohio State University taking on Alabama. You got two of the best coaches in all of college football going head-to-head in Urban Meyer and Nick Saban. Two prestigious programs steeped in tradition. Here are our analysts who are in the Big Easy with a perspective on what will be the keys to winning that game.
There are two keys for Ohio State if the Buckeyes want to win this game against Alabama. Number one is limit and try to stop Amari Cooper, the best wide receiver in the country and Alabama's biggest weapon. Number two, if you're Cardale Jones, Ohio State's third-string quarterback making your second career start, just get the ball to your weapons. Get the ball to Ezekiel Elliott, have him run the ball. Get the ball to the wide receivers. It's a deep group. There's really great dynamic receivers out there. Let your stars make the plays.
Alabama will win if it gets the ball to Amari Cooper and he makes the same big plays as always. On the other side of the ball, make that rookie quarterback uncomfortable.
All right, guys, so we know the keys to the Alabama-Ohio State game. Now it's time to get the keys to how Florida State can beat the Oregon Ducks. We're going to bring in First Coast Sports analyst Brent Beard, who has been with us all season long. Brent, first and foremost, welcome to the show. And you couldn't have asked for a better matchup as far as the quarterback's concerned when you have Marcus Mariota leading the Ducks and Jameis Winston leading the Noles.
Well, Chris, it's great to be with you. Mariota, 38 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Look, if that's against the kids in the backyard, that's impressive, much less against the competition in the Pac-12. Mariota is really good around the edge, and that's where FSU is going to have to deal with him and contain him. They really need to be able to stop this Oregon running game, so that's going to be hugely important. As far as Jameis Winston is concerned, I think he'll get his yards and I think he'll play much better. The situation that you've got right now with Winston is he needs to play 4 quarters. That's going to be extremely important for him. And again, FSU cannot have these lulls, Chris, that they have been having where they all virtually take a couple of quarters off because they can get buried by Oregon. But couple things to keep in mind here. Number one, I don't care what anybody says, FSU has the better roster. They have the most players that I think that have, if you look at their recruiting services over the last few years, they are stacked. They've got better players in Oregon. And the other thing, regardless of what Oregon players and coaches said today, and I agree, they're better physically than they have been, but they have not faced a defensive line, I don't think, that they're going to face with FSU. So it sets up for a tremendous game coming up on Thursday night.
All right, Brent Beard, we got about 30 seconds here. I need you to give me 3 keys in 30 seconds to FSU. What do they have to do to win this game? Well,
what FSU's got to do is their secondary has got to be very careful about these Oregon wide receivers. That's going to be one thing that they've got to be able to do. I think they've also got to get the ball to Nick O'Leary as often as they can. But to me, here's the number one key for this football game. If FSU wins, they're going to win with Dalvin Cook. If FSU gives the ball to anybody else but Cook in the running game, Chris, they're doing Oregon an absolute favor. I think if Cook has 150 yards, FSU wins. I think FSU wins. I think Bama wins. And that's what we're going to have in Dallas.
All right, Brent Beard, always knowledgeable, always knowing. We thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll be hearing from you again between now and the game on Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Brent. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Courtney Jones talks with an FSU fan who recently provided quite a memorable moment in his neighborhood imitating Seminoles mascot Chief Osceola. This is The Buzz, FSU's road to the national championship, live from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California.
Here's Winky. Going deep. Warwick's all alone. Penalty flags down. Touchdown. And Peter Warwick, a night of redemption, his 3rd touchdown of this championship game.
FSU mascot Chief Osceola is one of the most well-known mascots in all of college football. But Courtney Jones introduces us to a Jacksonville man who believes he can give Osceola a run for his money.
It's really one of a kind. There really isn't any other pregame thing in the country as big as that.
Perhaps the most spectacular tradition in all of college football occurs in Doak Campbell Stadium when Osceola charges down the field riding a horse named Renegade and plants a flaming spear at midfield to begin every home game.
Just the pageantry of it is amazing.
Jeff and Jennifer Vercon have seen their fair share of FSU pregame rituals. The season ticket holders told me they hardly miss a Seminole game day. The only one they missed this season was the ACC championship game on December 6th. So the Vercons decided to bring Chief Osceola and Renegade to their front yard. Look at Jeff as Chief Osceola, and he has the spear. Jennifer caught the whole thing on tape.
And she goes, I think you should get on the bike and do it, and rear the bike up.
As you're just picturing what should be Chief Osceola and Renegade, and it's actually Jeff Vercon on a bicycle rearing up his bike.
Their passion for the Seminoles runs deep. The Vercons went to FSU in the late 80s and early 90s. Since Jennifer's parents met there in the 50s, they have had 18 relatives go through FSU.
Florida State is a way of life for us.
And as for why they didn't go to the ACC championship game, they decided to rest and take the week off. But if the Noles can make it past Oregon in the Rose Bowl, the Vercons will go to Dallas for the national championship game. Courtney Jones, First Coast Sports, NBC 12, ABC 25.
All right, thank you, Courtney Jones. We got much more of the buzz, FSU's road to the national championship after this timeout. Welcome back to the buzz, FSU's road to the national championship. Folks, we hope you've enjoyed today's show, but we've got a better show, an even better show for you tomorrow night, same channel, same time. But before we go, I want to show you our MVP. His name is Ryan Dunlin. You saw his father a little earlier on in the show. Are you one of those nervous Oregon fans?
Confidently or cautiously optimistic. We'll see how it goes.
Why you say it cautiously?
I mean, like my dad said, FSU has a way to pull it out, but I have nothing but faith in my Ducks, that's for sure.
All righty, man. And he will be guaranteeing us that he will have hashtag Team Sideline photos from behind enemy lines, and we'll be showing them on air. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll see you tonight at 11 on First Coast News.